What's going on, horror fanatics? I am Marcus. Welcome to our Shot 'em 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. In this video, I will be discussing and breaking down the trailer for Hurry Up Tomorrow, an upcoming psychological horror movie starring R&B pop icon abeltesfaye, Jenna Ortega, and barrykeoghan. If you are a fan of horror movie related content, please shoot the video a like. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. And if you happen to be a new viewer here to the channel, please shoot that subscribe button followed by the bell icon for all content updates to the channel. Okay everyone, so abeltesfaye is a globally renowned singer and songwriter who I have been a big fan of ever since he entered the music scene all the way back in late 2011. And what drew my attention to his style of music wasn't just his amazing Michael Jackson-like voice, but that a lot of his sound along with the visuals that you see in his videos are heavily horror movie inspired, as he is a huge fan of the genre himself. He even has his own Nightmare Trilogy Haunted House from Universal Studios and Blumhouse for Halloween Horror Nights that was announced last year. And ever since he played a slasher-esque like character in his after-hours short film, the link for that short film will be in the description of the video, I have been clamoring and waiting for Abel to have his own feature-length horror picture or to sign on with a big IP like Scream, Halloween, etc. Well, the wait is finally over, as Abel will be playing himself in the upcoming psychological horror film titled Hurry Up Tomorrow, which, if you didn't know, is the exact same title as his most recently released 6th studio album. The plot for the film follows a musician who battles with insomnia, who gets pulled into a nightmarish odyssey by a stranger who begins to unravel the very core of his existence. This tells me the film will be centered loosely around how Abel sees himself, his reality as a global superstar, and the trials and tribulations he goes through with his mental health. Now, I know the film is being directed by treyedwardshultz, who also directed the films Waves and It Comes at Night. I have not seen any of those films, so I have some homework to do so I know what to expect from Trey with this film. But as you see here in the little overlay, when the film was looking for a buyer, it was being dubbed as a remake to the 1990 Stephen King classic Misery, starring James Caan and Kathy Bates. But when you really dig deep into the trailer, you not only notice the obvious homages to Misery, but you also see homages to another Stephen King classic in 1980's The Shining, as well as 1998's underrated gem, Disturbing Behavior. So what I'm going to do is break down these homages to these films as seen in the trailer, but I also will be linking in snippets of theweeknd's music from the Hurry Up Tomorrow album, as some of the songs play into certain moments that we see in the trailer and could help us get a better understanding on what to expect in this movie. So I'll first cover the homages to Misery as seen in the trailer and in character bios online. Jenna Ortega will be playing a crazed fan of Abel's, whose name is Anima, an obvious nod to the Annie Wilkes character. She is also seen driving an identical vehicle to the one that Annie Wilkes has in Misery as well, and also seems to live in a remote secluded area just like Annie, which would explain the long desolate road she's seen driving on in the trailer that is reminiscent to the one at the beginning of the Weeknd's Open Hearts video. But the biggest nod to Misery that we got in the trailer is the scene where we see Anima has Abel restrained to a bed against his will, just like Annie had Paul Sheldon. Now, the obvious difference here between Anima and Abel, when you compare them to Annie and Paul, is that unlike Annie and Paul, Anima and Abel seem to have been companions before Anima decides to hold him captive. Paul Sheldon had been driving drunk, crashed his car, leading to Annie Wilkes finding and saving him. They didn't know each other personally beforehand. In regards to the Shining homages, much like Paul Sheldon in Misery, it seems like Abel will be battling not only with drug and alcohol addiction, but also with the pressures of being what everyone else wants him to be, while he seeks for a new direction in life, reminiscent to both Jack Torrance and Paul Sheldon's characters. But that's not the only homage to The Shining that we get, as in the trailer, we see Abel is staying at a hotel that is similar to the one that we see in The Shining. We also see what looks like a clown with a chainsaw coming after who I assume to be Abel, and then in what looks like a rave scene, you see this guy contorting his body in a very deviant type of way, which leads me to believe that Abel will be seeing things that are not real, that are not there, just like Jack Torrance had in The Shining. I believe whatever this experimental odyssey that Anima's character is taking Abel on will have something to do with a particular drug that not only makes him hallucinate, but it will also have him tapping into his most fearful and emotional feelings on who he really is as a person. Now in this shot from the end of the trailer, you see the camera get a direct close-up to Abel's left eye. As you can see, there are 12 lights in his eye before he blinks and his eyes go pitch black as the camera pans away. Why this may be significant for the movie is it can mean a couple of things. It can mean he is seeing a quote-unquote light that will lead him out of the darkness, In short, he is dying and sees the stairway to heaven, but it could also mean, at least inside of the movie, that the Weeknd moniker and character is here to stay for another 6 albums. I say this because Hurry Up Tomorrow is not only the 6th studio album from Abel, but it is also supposed to be the last album that he will be using the Weeknd moniker / character. Fans on Reddit a few months ago leading into the album noticed 6 lights in Abel's eyes when he dropped the promotional photo for the album. The 6 lights symbolize 6 studio albums. However, in the movie itself, the 12 lights could not only be a sign of 6 more albums to come, but it could also mean that the Weeknd character is forever trapped in this abyss and that there is no way out. The lights in his eyes remind me of disturbing behavior, where we've seen parents of high school students allow the school that they attended to administer some type of mind control experiment over their kids to not only have them come across as clean-cut, can't do no wrong figures, but also for their kids to be exactly who the parents wanted them to be. Similar to what Abel is battling in this film and in real life when it comes to his most loyal supporters who do not want to see the Weeknd moniker / character go away. This is the part of the video where I will start breaking down scenes from the trailer that tie into songs from the Hurry Up Tomorrow album. In this scene that we have here, we see Abel in a bathtub looking to do harm to himself. This scene ties into the 6th song on the album, Baptized in Fear.
I fell asleep in the tub, I was fed with paralysis. My foot hit the faucet, water started flowing in. Couldn't scream for help, I just slowly felt the pressure hit. Moving one toe was the only form of motion left. Can't breathe for air, can't breathe. Trying to remember everything that my preacher said. Trying to right my wrongs, my regrets filling up my head. All the times I dodged it, this can't be the way it ends. Oh, I've been baptized in fear, my dear. I've been the chief of sin, washing my soul within. I've been baptized in fear, my dear. Like Paul, I'm the chief of sin, washing my soul within. Oh.
If you didn't know, The Weeknd spoke with Variety back in January and had noted that he had some type of mental breakdown, which was the inspiration behind the album, and you could assume the film as well. When you take into account the bathtub scene, as well as The Weeknd calling himself the chief of sin during the song, he's acknowledging that he has lived a flawed lifestyle in the eyes of God, but seeks to have his sins cleansed, showing he wants a shot at redemption. He wants to be a newer and better version of himself. He wants this side of him known as The Weeknd and the baggage that comes with the character to cease to exist, but the only way he feels that is possible is through death. In this shot, we see Anima looking on as Abel performs. The expression on her face is a look of concern. This ties into the 9th track of the album, Reflections Laughing, which has an interlude in the middle of the song that plays into Anima's expression in this shot.
I know you're up. You think I don't know you're staying up all night, cooped up in that hotel room? I know you. You still got that adrenaline from the concert. Ain't no way you're asleep. My girl told me she saw you in Dallas, said you didn't look good. But you barely finished the show. I just hope you're not back to the old you. How much longer are you in Texas for? I'm just worried. You worked so hard to be better, and now you're back, drowning in that shit. Don't let this industry break you, baby. Don't let them take you from me.
Now, Anima's expression here could be because she sees Abel have a moment where something is off with him on stage. Maybe in this scene, his voice isn't cooperating with him. In real life, this actually happened, as The Weeknd had to cancel a show due to what he called self-imposed pressure, causing him to lose his voice and cancel his LA concert back in 2022. There is also another interlude from the album that will play here shortly that may back this theory up. Or it could be because Abel announces that he is retiring from music as the Weeknd moniker after this last album, and that he will be taking the music in a new direction, which would explain Anima's saddened expression and possibly why she has decided to hold Abel captive. Remember, in Misery, Annie's main goal was to get Paul Sheldon out of his writer's block, but more importantly, back to his old writing style that made her fall in love with his book Misery. as she wasn't a fan of his follow-up book, Misery's Child. It seems Anima's goal would be to get Abel to continue making the music that she likes from him, as opposed to him evolving it and taking it in a new direction. As for barrykeoghan, who is The Weeknd's real-life best friend, he portrays the role of Lee, Abel's manager, who is seen trying to give Abel words of encouragement as he has doubts about performing. I believe Lee is a wild card in the madness that will be ensuing, as he seems to also revel in not just Abel's success, but the lifestyle that comes with it, as his motivation seems misguided as he watches Abel destroy his life with alcohol and drugs with no pushback based on what I've seen in the trailer. The scene where we see Lee trying to motivate Abel ties into another interlude from the album titled I Can't Fucking Sing, which is followed by the song Sao Paulo, which seems to be the song Abel is set to perform after being motivated by Lee moments prior.
I get it now. No, it's my fucking voice, okay? Listen to the go. I can't sing. I can't fucking sing.
So kind of like Anima, just in his own way, it seems Lee is willing to pressure Abel to perform even if he's mentally and physically not capable of doing so, because it benefits him and his wants and needs. Another person who doesn't want Abel to change for their own personal reasonings. There is also a brief moment in the trailer where you see Lee in what looks like the lobby of the hotel, circling, staring menacingly at someone who I will assume to be Abel, as I think these two will have a showdown in the film. Could Lee have been the one to put Anima up to doing what she's doing to Abel? Only time will tell, but I am definitely getting those type of vibes. Now, I know some fans of The Weeknd out there assume that he will die in Hurry Up Tomorrow, because in his music videos the character has been killed off multiple times, only to be resurrected in some shape, way, or form. But since he has said that he is done with the moniker and character after Hurry Up Tomorrow, it's only right for fans to assume that the character's death will take place in the film. However, I have an interesting theory about this assumption that I will save for my follow-up video that is titled The Big Sleep Theory, as there is certain dialogue in the trailer as well as the album that could present an answer to the assumption. With all that being said, I feel Hurry Up Tomorrow will be a somewhat fictional cinematic journey that is a culmination of The Weeknd's musical career from his point of view, the crude underbelly of being famous, as well as being surrounded and used by others who influence a dangerous lifestyle for their own personal gain and benefits. The film will also serve as an ending to a character who has been evolving into a presence that has been forever trying to escape the darkness that has plagued him throughout his musical journey, while stepping out into the light and becoming a better person whose more recent music presents a more happy, biblical, wholesome side of the artist, a far cry from the artist's early projects, where his experience in life pre-fame, as well as when he got to fame, were very dark and erotic. He still mixes in the dark mood R&B around his pop-themed tracks, but I think if you follow The Weeknd's music like I do, then you know that ever since the Starboy album, The Weeknd's music has been much more pop and synthwave oriented, which is not only a symbol of his undeniable talent, but a symbol that he is finally free from the darkness that he's been plagued by for so many years. But okay everyone, that is it for this Hurry Up Tomorrow trailer breakdown and discussion video. Leave a comment down in the comment section below with your thoughts and opinions on the upcoming project. Are you a fan of The Weeknd's music? If so, let me know your favorite track. What are your thoughts on Jenna Ortega playing an Annie Wilkes type of character in the film? Do you think she'll be as crazy as Annie was in Misery? As well as let me know if you agree that Lee's character may have been the one to influence Anima's character to take Abel on this experimental odyssey and hold him captive against his will. Once again, I am Marcus, and this is our Shop 6 Times YouTube Horror Movie channel. Be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Thank you all for watching.